skinning decomposition preset of the Blender DemBones add-on. We have the animation and the cloth simulation, and we want to create the bone animation from the cloth simulation. So the bones drive the mesh. First we select the mesh, then we select the skinning decomposition preset and set the number of bones. Click execute, wait for a few seconds. And that's it, we have our animation with bones, and they drive the mesh with skinning weights. And the animation is completely the same as our input mesh sequence. Here is the second use case of the Blender DemBones. Let's say we have the same animation with the cloth simulation, but instead of the random distribution of bones, we want to create the hierarchy of the bones with the rest pose that we'd like to have in the final animation. So I already did that here. I made the armature, did the rest pose, and I created bone constraints to constrain the bones to the mesh, to some of the vertex groups. So right now, if we select our mesh and we go to the pose mode and rotate some of the vertices, we can see that the bones, they follow the mesh. Okay, and we have the full animation like this, and the bones, they follow the mesh. And that's it. So first we select the mesh or the armature and select the other object. So we need to select both armature and the mesh, which drives the bones from that armature. Next, we need to select the weights from mesh sequence and bone anim preset and hit execute. And that's it. As you can see, the animation is completely the same. The bone animation is completely the same as it was before. And the response is completely the same. But now the bones, they drive the mesh. So here the DemBones result, and bones drive the mesh. And here's our original sequence where the bones, they drive, the mesh, it drives the bones. And from this we created this. Yeah, that's it. Here is the third use case of Blender DemBones add-on. We still have the same animation of the clock with cloth simulation, but this time, let's say we want to create the animation of bones, preserving not only the rest pose, but also the weights. So this clock here is already skinned, has bone weights, skin weights, but we want just to animate the bones to follow this mesh animation sequence. And yes, we can also do this with Blender DemBones. Select the armature, select both meshes, set the preset bone anim from mesh sequence and weights, click execute, and that's it. We have our bone animation, which preserves the skinning of our originally static skinned clock. Here is the fourth use case of the Blender DemBones add-on. We have the same animation of the clock here. And this time we have this animation here, and we also have the same animation with bones driving the mesh, but in our animation the weight panes are completely broken, they're a mess. And we want to optimize them, so the final animation will look like our original simulation here. So we can optimize the bone weights of this armature and this mesh here. Okay, we select the optimize weights from mesh sequence and bone anim preset here. We select both armature, original simulation, mesh sequence, and the mesh with broken weights. And we click execute button. Wait for a few seconds and it's done. And let's see what we got here. Here is the new animation. And here's our messed up animation, messed up weights. And you can clearly see the difference. The weights are optimized, and now the animation is similar to our original cloth simulation. So we fixed our messed up weights of this mesh. Here is a fifth use case of Blender DemBones add-on. We have the same clock animation here. And this time we also want to optimize some skinning weights, but not all of them. We have our animation here that we want to optimize. And let's check it more closely. As you can see here, we have a little bit of in alignment here. So we want to fix this somehow, and we have already we have the fix for that on our original cloth simulation. Here everything is good. So we can optimize all of the weights, but let's say we want to keep these 4 bones to be the same skinning weights and the same animation. If we select the bones that we don't like to be processed, we select all of them and we hit set demLock. And now only that bone will be processed. And the skinning weights only of that bone and the animation of that bone will be optimized to fit to our original cloth simulation. Let's try. So first we set all the demLocks. Next we select the solve helper bones with demLock preset. We select the armature and both meshes. We hit execute button. Wait for a few seconds. And that's it. And you can see now this array here, it's optimized with Blender DemBones. And now it's similar to our original clock. Here is the 6th use case of the Blender DemBones add-on. This time we want to preserve some vertices, not vertices, but skinning weights. But instead of using the demLock on some of the bones, we will do this with vertex paint. So we select the mesh and we go to the vertex paint mode. So all the vertices that we want to preserve, they colored with black color, but the vertices that we want to update, optimize, we color them with white color like that. And for that mesh, we want only this area to be optimized. Okay, so we colored this part here with white color, and that's everything we need to do. We select the mesh, select both meshes, we select this armature, we select the partially solve skinning with per vertex color of the mesh preset, and hit execute button. And that's it. We have our new optimized mesh with bone animation. All the skinning weights here, they're preserved and they are the same as they was before. And only the vertices that we colored with white color, they are changed. As you can see here, it's different now.